Wow. You know what comes to my mind a little bit is the movie A Few Good Men.
Yeah, when I saw A Few Good Men,
Must have
it
really
totally resonated.
Oh, I was going to say it had to have resonated with you.
Absolutely.
Because it's basically cracking, I mean, not necessarily cracking down, but it's amazing that they, but I guess it's not, because I mean, I don't know anything about the military, and obviously you do, but it's amazing that they were able to see your ability, again, based on certain tests, like you say, but there had to have been, I don't know how many naval, how many, what are they called, naval?
Midshipmen.
Were there, and yet this is such a tremendous, it almost takes me a little bit back when you think about the Holocaust as well, when they kind of knew who the strengths were, the people that were able to survive. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because now I'm, thoughts are coming into my head from what you're saying, but the ones that they saw their abilities, so maybe they stayed, they were able to find something for them to do in Hitler's home, or whether it was even other Jews moving their own into the ovens.
That's the strength
isn't that?
of a leader, is to be able to find the strengths of those that are subordinate to him or her. And so that's why it's important that the leaders in this world right now are ethical and competent. Because if you're a leader and you have that power and you go the wrong way with it, then you can create situations like the Holocaust. So, being a leader is a huge responsibility. And that's why I don't fault Obama or Bush. And a lot of people, they see my political humor and they say, oh, you're Republican or you're Democrat or you're taking sides. It's not that, because I've been there. And I've been a leader who has been chastised by the public and told that I wasn't doing my job. But it's very hard to do your job when you have your hands tied. So it's, there's not just one person in charge. It's a collective, it's a group. And if the whole group is cool with burning Jews in an oven, then you're going to burn Jews in an oven. So you've got to stop thinking that way. You've got to collectively change the thought process.
Just like here with these T-shirts, in the naval. But these are priceless.
Yeah, I came across those for a show that I was doing called The Crackhead Jesus Experience. It was a one-man play, and I did it at the Arts Theater over in Andrews Living Arts Theater in Fort Lauderdale, and it gave a retrospective of how the story of Crackhead Jesus, the movie, came about. And portions of the story include reflections on what happened at the U.S. Naval Academy. And it was a time in my life that really paved the way for who I am now as an artist. And like I said, to those good men and women who are serving in the military, you'll know that once you are trained to kill, you're never the same again. And so having the ability to snuff out someone's life is something that you really have to keep in check, because murder is easy. So don't do it.
They say that we all have that in us. Is that true? Would you think?
Absolutely.
That the ability?
Absolutely. That's why there's men and women in the military. But we shouldn't be trained to kill.
No.
Just as we have the ability to kill, we also have the ability to love. And that's one of the things that I learned at the Naval Academy as well, because there were some amazing leaders there that, I'll never forget. There was one individual who was, he was just this amazing man. Ironically enough, he was so amazing. It's always the good people, you don't remember their names, Like I remember all the bastards there, but the good guy, I don't remember his name. Anyway, he would play Neil Diamond's Coming to America, every morning, and the George Patton theme. I don't know if you ever saw the movie George Patton.
I did see
Patton
Patton.
with George C. Scott.
Yeah.
So every morning at Reveille, or I think Reveille's at night. Every morning, at the sun wasn't even up yet, and it was just so amazing because in the hollow, cavernous corridor, he would put his speakers out there, and the songs would resonate, and you would wake up to that. And then the rest of the day was just incredible chaos. We would jog 5 miles in our boots and in our uniform before 5 o'clock in the morning. We would have our breakfast and everything before 6. We would have read the newspapers and been able to recite the main stories already before breakfast. It was just, like the saying goes, we did more before 9 o'clock in the morning than most people did all week. But this guy was an incredible leader, and I would go and consult with him because he knew what was going on. He knew about the bullying that was happening and about the damage that was being created there. And he always had a steady head about things, and he gave really sound advice. So that made me realize that, like the yin and the yang, there's always some light in the darkness.
Always.
And so, you know, there are some really good military leaders out there who, even though they're trained to kill, can show compassion. And so, as long as there are people like that in the world, we're still good.
Okay, quick question. So we're running a little bit out of time, and I do want to say a few things. I do want to ask you, first of all, well, I'd like to ask you, obviously, what do you see in your future? But before we go there, I would like to take this moment to say that because of the way you paint and the energy that you get, and obviously we'll be doing July 7th, this coming Thursday night, Unforgettable Facebook Connections is having an anniversary party, which I'm so blessed that you're going to be bringing some of your pieces and displaying some of your work. I hope, do you plan on, when you go home, maybe channeling that energy, because the fact that this is all about social media, which is great, you know, I'm sure you play into that as well, the social media of people coming together, strangers that do not know one another. I mean, some of us do, others don't. There'll be an unbelievable energy flow, I think, in the room. Are you going to possibly think about maybe putting something like that on canvas?
You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to paint you. I'd like to do a portrait of you and have you as one of the muses of 2011. Every year I've been painting muses and capturing their essence on canvas. So we'll have to schedule a date to have a session.
I am honored.
Thank you. As far as that night goes, I honestly don't know if I'm going to paint exactly that night.
I know not that night, but I was wondering if you were going to take it home. You're going to be a guest that night.
Yeah. We'll you know,
I was wondering.
When an experience affects me, I put it into the diary of the world on canvas. So
right.
We'll see how that
goes. Good. I mean, I'm excited. But now that you mentioned Muse, I mean, I think I'm even more excited. However, I need to ask you one more thing. Does a Muse get to keep her clothes on?
That depends. And this is an amazing situation. The relationship between the muse and the artist is almost like a therapist. It's such a personal thing, obviously, and it's such an amount of trust when a woman or a man takes off their clothes and is there in front of you. It's not easy. I have a lot of friends who think it's just a big joke, and they're like, oh my God, that's great. You get to have these beautiful women pose naked for you. I'm like, you know how difficult it is to be in the presence of a beautiful muse and to have to be able to recreate that on canvas? Because it's like, if I'm there and I end up at the end of it just painting a stick figure, I mean, that would totally ruin my reputation, because the girls would be like, oh, this guy all he does is like, you know, he's a pervert who just stares at us naked and ends up painting some crap. So, I mean, the pressure's on for the artist to recreate that beauty and to present the muse with something that is up to her expectation.